Okay, so I got them all separated because I am doing this. Yeah, separated. Doing this build. This is the bear right there. That's the bear that we're doing. I had to separate all of these blocks, colors, because there is one, two, three, four different colors, and there's three different sizes. Let's see if we could put them right here. I don't know if you guys seen the ones before. You probably didn't, but who cares? These are the three different ones. Those are three different sizes. So I had to separate three different sizes and the different colors. This is red, and this is the blue. The pink I had to put in this little thing, the three different pinks, and the blacks are in this right here. So those are the five colors. We're going to move those over to the side. And I'm going to turn this one this way. Turn this way. Because, let's move this out the way. Turn this over. Scissors. So, it also comes with this thingy. And it also comes with instructions. This one's folded all kind of weird. We are going to start at number 1. I'm going to fold this in half so we can see it. And I have to fold it again so it's easier to see. Can you see? Can you see? Can you see? So this is number 1. You can see it has the three different on one side, the three different rows, and you always start at the bottom and you go up. But up here in this little section right here, you can see that. See if I can make it closer. Right here, it gives you how many you're going to need for this, for number 1. For all three of those, it tells you up here how many you're going to need. You can either count them out first and then do the put it together, or you could just do one at a time. I've done it both ways. Takes the same amount of time. But while we're doing this, I am going to be listening to some, I guess, Reddit stories. Some of them are true stories, some of them are not. And they're just from YouTube, and I just listen to them that way. It's not dead air. Because we're going to start with the red, and it says 6 red tiny squares. I'm gonna count. There's 6, 2, 4, 6, and it is 32 of the medium. And these are the mediums, so we're gonna get 32 of these. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's 10. 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. 8. So that's 30, and it says 32, so we're gonna get 2 more. I'm gonna move these on to the other side. And then I'll put them back on again now. So it says 8 of the medium white. So we need 8 of these. 2, 4, 6, 8. We have 8 of those. 60 of the big ones and 6 of these. One more. All right. And then it says we need 60 of these ones right here. So take a handful out. It's easier to get that way. Eight. 8, 10. So it's 30. I'm just going to do this first. So all of these are right here. So this is all of these. Yeah, this one right here. And then I am going to do the bottom 2. And now it's hard to see, very hard to see. I'm thinking if this was in a book form, it might be a little bit easier to turn pages. But so this is saying for my first one, I'm going to do this one right here. That's the bottom. This is the bottom. So I'm going to do this one. And then I need something that, so let's see if you can see it, but I'm going to do that one and I'll show you exactly how it is. So it says for that first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. So I need 8 of these big ones. 2, 4, 6. Still like this, okay. And so seeing that it has these little ridges on the sides, that's how they connect. And you line it up and push them together, and they will be like that. Okay, so I got to do 8 in a row. Yeah, put it closer to my face. And see here. 4. Turn some light up. Sometimes get with that bottom. I think I need 2 of these. Let me look. Yes, I do need 2 of these. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah. Get just one of them done so you can see it as I go. Then I'm going to start this Reddit story I was listening to and it was separating. I'm gonna start it over. It's on YouTube. They're just like Reddit stories that somebody's read. So I can hear them in the background. Oh, come on. Sometimes you gotta turn them, get them out of fit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's part of it. Now to put those two together, it says, okay, we need one of these, and then it says 1, 2, 3. Okay, one of these, that's 2 rows. Okay, so we got to put these this way. Yeah, and then this goes. So they were long ways this way when we put it together. But when you put this on here, it has to go this way. And so you want to put them all together before you put them on here because it's kind of hard to put. It's kind of hard to put it if you put it that way and then try to stick another one on there. Because then you got to be doing more than one side to make sure it lines up. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Maybe that's too far. Let's take my glasses off so I can see better. There it goes. And that's what this is for, but you can get it now. Sure they're all even. We're going to take this and make sure it goes right on the other side of that. Goes right there. Then now we're going to, you see this is that square part here. Now we got to put this and that on, which is one of these and one of these together like this. And then because the rows are going this way, set, it's got to go even with the first one in, the second one in, not the first one. So even with that, go all the way. Okay, and then the back part is one of these and one of these. Put together. There it goes. And this one goes. The little side is on this side this time. It's on this side. This little one is on this side. The big one's on that side. I'm gonna make it match the other side. So the big one's on this side. I'm going to put that right there. And that is the first base. And now I'm going to turn on my audiobook and I'm just going to, well, YouTube, listen to some YouTube stories. And I'm going to do this and then do these ones and go right here in the light so you can see where to go. Let's see what's on here. Let's see what we're going to pick today. Oh. What are we going to pick? Ooh, let's see. This one's going to do a commercial first, but I already thought. It's a commercial. We're gonna say next.
Hey, Wynn, do you remember what we were talking about the other day? how seeking healthcare isn't always just about physical. Thought she might.
Need to rewind it, start it over. So at least you know what they're talking about. Okay.
Yes,
It's gonna
Jamie,
start,
that
but
means
it's gonna
you get
do a
a
commercial, and I'm going to do this other one, and it's exactly the same as this one.
Yourself is happening right now. That screen right now, you get in on that special order. If it's breaking in the season in there, but you can this you can do it too much. Let's see, let's check that shot. Yeah, so what's really cool about Kitty Litter is that it actually can help monitor your cat's health. It changes colors to tell you that there's a health issue. On the back is a nifty little guide that tells you what each color means, so you'll be in the know. The champagne glass shattered against the marble floor, spraying crystal shards across the room like deadly confetti. Yuna's perfectly manicured hand was still extended, her face a mask of cold feeling as she stared down at the trembling server who had accidentally brushed against her Dior gown. Clean it up, Yuna hissed, her voice like ice cutting through the chatter of souls elite gathered in the mansion's grand ballroom. And then get out. You're fired. The young woman dropped to her knees, frantically picking up glass pieces with shaking fingers, blood beginning to bloom where the shards cut into her skin. No one moved to help her. No one dared. They all knew better than to interfere when Yuna Park was angry. She was the fiancée of Ji-hoon Kwon, the most powerful mafia boss in South Korea, and she wielded that position like a weapon. Yuna, darling, Ji-hoon's deep voice cut through the tension as he approached, his tailored black suit fitting his tall, muscular frame perfectly. His handsome face showed no emotion, but his dark eyes held a warning. You're making a scene at our engagement party. Yuna's expression instantly transformed into a sweet smile, though her eyes remained cold. I was simply addressing incompetence, my love. Surely you understand the importance of maintaining standards. From the kitchen doorway, hidden in the shadows, Petra watched the entire exchange with her heart pounding. She had arrived in Seoul just 3 days ago, desperate for work after her teaching position in Lagos fell through. The agency had promised her a good job with excellent pay as a domestic worker for a wealthy Korean family. They hadn't mentioned that the family was a criminal empire. Remember why you're here, Petra whispered to herself, touching the small cross pendant around her neck. She needed this job. Her mother's medical bills weren't going to pay themselves, and her siblings back home depended on the money she sent every month. The head housekeeper, Mrs. Cho, appeared beside her, the older Korean woman's face stern. You start tomorrow. 5 a.m. sharp. And listen carefully, girl. Keep your head down, do your work, and stay invisible. Especially around Miss Yuna. Her voice dropped to a whisper. And whatever you do, don't look at Master Ji-hoon. That woman has ended people for less. Petra nodded, swallowing hard. Yes, ma'am. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. Hey beautiful souls, before we dive deep into this intense story of forbidden love, power, and revenge, I want to wish each and every one of you the most wonderful holiday season. May your days be filled with love, joy, and beautiful moments with those you cherish. Ensure you subscribe now so you don't miss the daily drops of amazing stories. Now, grab your hot chocolate, get comfortable, and let me take you on an unforgettable journey. Trust me, you don't want to miss a single moment of this. The next morning, Petra's alarm buzzed at 4:30 a.m. She dressed quickly in the plain black uniform provided by the agency, her dark skin glowing against the crisp white collar. She pulled her thick natural hair into a neat bun and took a deep breath before leaving the small servants' quarters behind the main mansion. The Kwon estate was massive, a sprawling compound of modern architecture and traditional Korean design elements that spoke of wealth beyond measure. As Petra made her way through the pre-dawn darkness, she could see armed guards stationed at various points, their presence a stark reminder of exactly what kind of household this was.
Backwards, so.
Mrs. Cho was already in the kitchen, barking orders at the other staff members. You. New girl. Petra, was it? Yes, ma'am. Take this breakfast tray to Master Ji-hoon's private study.
Third floor, east wing. Knock twice, wait for permission, enter with your eyes down, leave the tray on the side table, and exit. Don't speak unless spoken to. Petra took the heavy silver tray, her hand steady despite her nervousness. She navigated the mansion's corridors, marveling despite herself at the priceless artwork adorning the walls. She found the study and knocked twice, her heart camera. Enter.
I'm gonna go.
The voice was
Next
deep,
one.
commanding. She pushed the door open with her hip, eyes obediently lowered, and stepped inside. The room smelled of expensive cologne and old leather.
A couple at a time.
She moved toward where she assumed the side table would be, but in her nervousness, she didn't see the corner of the ornate rug that had flipped up. Petra stumbled, the tray tilting dangerously.
This one.
Hot coffee began to spill, and she knew in that split second that she was about to destroy a very expensive carpet in a very dangerous
This
mindset.
goes.
Strong hands caught the tray, steadying it in her. She gasped, looking up instinctively, and found herself staring into the darkest, most intense eyes she had ever seen. Ji-hoon Kwan stood inches from her, so close she could see the faint scar above his left eyebrow, could smell the sandalwood of his cologne. He was even more intimidating up close, his presence commanding, dangerous, and yet. Careful, he said softly, his eyes searching her face with an expression she couldn't read. You're new.
Have an issue.
Yes, sir. I'm so sorry, sir. It
It's
won't
too
happen
much
again.
light.
Petra stepped back
But I
quickly,
can't.
her skin burning where his hands
You
had
can
touched her
see
arms.
It's getting there.
Ji-hoon set the tray down himself, his movements controlled and precise.
It's the short
You're the one from Nigeria. Yes, sir. Lagos. You speak Korean well. I studied it at university, sir. I was a language teacher before. She trailed off, realizing she was speaking too much. For the first time in longer than he could remember, Ji-hoon felt something stir in his chest. Interest. Curiosity. This woman, with her warm brown skin, intelligent eyes, and nervous grace, was nothing like the cold, calculating people who usually surrounded him. There was something genuine about her, something real. What's your name? Petra, sir.
One of these.
Petra of Konquo. Petra, he repeated, the name rolling off his tongue with his Korean accent. It suits you. The moment stretched between them, charged with something neither of them could name. Then the study door burst open, and Yuna swept in wearing a silk robe, her expression thunderous. Ji-hoon, why are you? Who is she? Yuna's eyes narrowed as she took in the scene, her fiancé standing close to a beautiful black woman, an intimacy in the air that made her blood boil. The new maid, Ji-hoon said coolly, stepping away. She was delivering breakfast. Petra bowed quickly. I'll go now, sir. Ma'am. She practically fled from the room, but she could feel Yuna's eyes burning into her back. The moment the door closed, Yuna rounded on Ji-hoon. You were looking at her. Don't be ridiculous. I know that look, Ji-hoon. I've been by your side for 3 years, waiting to be your wife. Don't you dare disrespect me with some common certainty. Ji-hoon's jaw tightened. Watch your tone, you. I don't answer to you. You will when we're married. She moved closer, running her hands up his chest. Or have you forgotten our arrangement? Your father promised you to me. Our family's alliance is what keeps your empire strong. You need me. He moved her hands away. I'm well aware of our arrangement. That doesn't give you permission to dictate who I speak to in my own home. Yuna's beautiful face twisted with rage for just a moment before she controlled herself. Of course, darling. I'm just protective of what's mine. She kissed his cheek, but her mind was already spinning. That maid would have to go. Downstairs, Petra leaned against the wall, trying to calm her racing heart. What had just happened? The way Ji-hoon had looked at her, the way her body had responded to his proximity, it was dangerous. Forbidden. Impossible. Did you deliver the trays? Mrs. Cho appeared, making Petra jump. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, I almost spilled. But you didn't. Good. Now, the main ballroom needs to be cleaned from last night's party. Take Sujin with you and get started. The next few weeks passed in a blur of work. Petra kept her head down, just as Mrs. Cho had instructed, but she couldn't help noticing things. The way Una treated the staff like dirt beneath her shoes. The way she would slip out late at night, returning hours later smelling of expensive wine and men's cologne that wasn't Ji-hoon's. The way the other staff members whispered about her, fear and resentment in their voices. She's evil, Sujin confided one evening as they folded laundry. The young Korean woman had become Petra's closest friend in the household. She had a girl fired last month because Master Ji-hoon complimented her cooking. And that girl, she disappeared. No one has seen her since. Petra's blood ran cold. What are you saying? I'm saying be careful. Miss Yuna doesn't tolerate any woman she sees as a threat. And I've seen the way Master Ji-hoon watches you when he thinks no one is looking. He doesn't. He does. And so has she. As if summoned by their conversation, Mrs. Cho appeared. Petra, Miss Yuna has requested you specifically to serve at tonight's dinner. Wear your formal uniform. Sujin's face went pale, but she said nothing. That evening, Petra stood in the formal dining room, her hands clasped behind her back as she waited to serve. Ji-hoon sat at the head of the massive table, with Yuna on his right and several dangerous-looking men in expensive suits filling the other seats. She recognized one of them from the news, a politician who had been accused of corruption but never charged. Gentlemen, Ji-hoon said, his voice carrying the weight of authority. To new partnerships and profitable ventures. They raised their glasses, but the atmosphere was tense. One of the men, a heavy-set Korean with cold eyes, kept staring at Yuna with barely concealed lust. So, Hwan, when's the wedding? The man asked. Been engaged for 3 years now. Getting cold feet. Ji-hoon's expression didn't change. We'll marry when the time is right, Chairman Park. That's my cousin you're keeping waiting, the man continued, clearly drunk. If you don't want her, I'm sure others would be happy to. The temperature in the room dropped. Ji-hoon set down his glass with deliberate care. Finish that sentence, and it will be your last. Chairman Park laughed nervously. Just joking, Hwan. Just joking. But Yuna's smile was strained, her humiliation evident. More wine, she snapped at Petra. Now. Petra moved forward to refill Yuna's glass, but as she poured, Yuna's hand suddenly jerked, knocking the bottle so that red wine splashed across the white tables and across Ji-hoon's expensive suit. You clumsy fool. Yuna shrieked, jumping up. Look what you've done. I'm so sorry, Petra began, but she knew it had been deliberate.
That sharp jolt of pain that you feel when you eat foods is tooth sensitivity. You're experiencing an exposed layer of the tooth. New Sensodyne Clinical Repair creates a protective shield on sensitive areas of teeth that regenerates with every use. I recommend it to all my patients.
It's more than an SUV. It's your Chevy Equinox with advanced safety features.
So, according to the University of Delaware, people with an IQ of 115 and above can perform any job without intellectual restrictions. This means you can handle complex tasks and manage multiple responsibilities.
When I get to this part,
Essentially,
has
you can figure out almost
on one
any job.
side,
People with an IQ of around
a little piece
110 are usually
goes
foremen,
here,
clerks, telephone operators,
piece
electricians, an
goes
IQ
here,
of 100 and above
and
is
a
common for
medium-sized
machine
piece
operators,
goes
shopkeepers,
here.
and welders. And the
Goes
average
straight up.
IQ of 90 is generally associated with manual jobs
Here.
such as gardening, labor, and factory packing. So
of
basically, it has been
these,
proven that your IQ is
this
directly
side
related to
goes
the career and job opportunities.
This way.
She'd seen Yuna's hand move. Sorry. You've ruined his suit.
And then this.
That's worth more than your entire existence.
Here.
Yuna's hand flew out, slapping Petra across the face with a crack that echoed through the room. The men at the table looked away uncomfortably. This was not their business. But Ji-hoon stood up slowly, wine dripping from his jacket. Yuna. Step outside with me. Now. But Ji-hoon, she. Now. His voice was quiet, but it held such menace that even Yuna blanched. She followed him out of the dining room, her heels clicking sharply against the marble floor.
I'll put it together to
Petra
make sure.
stood there, her cheek burning, tears threatening to fall.
Make sure.
But she wouldn't cry.
I'm gonna do this side.
She
first.
wouldn't give Yuna that
This
satisfaction.
on this side.
In the hallway, Ji-hoon turned on Yuna with barely controlled fury. You deliberately caused that.
Yeah, and
She's incompetent. Don't lie to me.
then I'll see.
I saw exactly what you did. And you will never strike one of my staff again. Do you understand? Yuna's eyes widened. You're defending her. A maid? Over me, your fiancé. I'm defending basic human decency, something you seem to have
Does
forgotten,
this turn sideways?
I haven't
so it's
forgotten
not so
anything,
long and it
G.
evens it out.
including that I'm the daughter of the Park
Like
family.
that.
Your father arranged our marriage to unite our organizations. You need my family's connections, their territory. Without me, you're vulnerable to the other families. Is that a threat? It's a reality. She softened her tone, moving closer. Why are we fighting?
Wait,
I love you,
this
Ji-hoon.
one goes.
I've always loved you. I'm just jealous. Can you blame me? You barely touch me anymore. We barely talk. And then I see you looking at her. I don't look at her. You do. Everyone sees me.
Same thing on this side. This
And it
little
makes me
field
crazy
and
because I've
inside.
given you everything. My youth, my loyalty, 3 years of my life waiting to be your wife.
Like,
What does she have that I don't? For a moment, Ji-hoon almost felt sorry for her. But he knew Yuna. Her love was possessive, controlling. It wasn't real love, it was ownership. Go home, Yuna. We'll discuss this later. She left in a fury, and Ji-hoon stood alone in the hallway, his thoughts troubled. Petra. The woman was becoming a problem, not because she'd done anything wrong, but because Yuna was right. He did watch her. He found himself timing his walks through the house to catch glimpses of her. Found himself wanting to hear her laugh, to see the way her eyes lit up when she spoke with the other staff.
mites and flat.
It was dangerous.
Just one more.
It was foolish.
So
It
they're
had to
all
stop.
first.
But stopping was the last thing that happened. If you're hooked on this story, beautiful souls, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notifications
first,
so you
number
never
one,
miss our
is
intense
done.
romance
All of
stories.
these are done.
Drop a
Now,
comment and
How
comment.
to put
Are
them
you Team
so
Petra or are you curious about
you
Venus
can
next
see.
week? And smash the like button if you're loving this so far. Now, let's get back to the drama because things are about to get even more intense.
Without the glare.
2 days later, Petra was summoned to Mrs. Cho's office. The head housekeeper looked troubled.
But there's
You're being
lines
reassigned, Mrs. Cho said.
that go all the way down.
Master
So
Ji-hoon has requested
at
you
this
as his
bottom
personal
one,
attendant.
there's a line
Petra's
that
stomach
goes
dropped.
from here all the
I
way
don't
up and it tells
understand.
you which one.
Neither do I,
So
child.
this, it goes
But
through
when the
this
master
first
requests
square here
something, we comply.
and it goes down
You'll be
to that
responsible
first
for his
square
private
there.
quarters, his meals.
So that's how you
his
put it
schedule.
on. So
It's a
that's
promotion,
basically
technically. More pay.
It's
But-
going from
She shook her head.
this bottom one,
Just be careful.
this first square
Being
here
Ji-hoon's personal
first little
attendant
peg
meant being
here
in his presence for hours every day.
means that
It meant learning his
this
routines, his
second peg
preferences.
goes on this
It meant
first
proximity
peg
that made Petra's heart race and
So
her
you
common
put
sense
it-
scream warnings.
so that it's
The first morning,
lines
she
up
knocked on his
kinda
bedroom
like
door at precisely 6 a.m. to
just
wake
like
him as
that.
instructed. Enter, his voice
you
calm,
put that
rough
on
with
there and you
sleep.
make sure
She pushed the door open
closes
to find him
down
already awake, standing by the floor-to-ceiling windows
all
that
the way
overlooked
around.
Seoul's
And when
skyline.
they say it needs a
He
strong
wore only
base
black
or it
silk
comes apart,
pajama pants.
it needs
His
a strong
muscular back
base.
and shoulder
You usually
muscles
just
displayed,
tap it, but you
covered in
don't want to
intricate
tap on
tattoos,
any of the
dragons,
pieces
tigers,
that are hanging
Korean
off the
script chiseled
side
white
because then
red
it'll
from this
go
distance.
down and down.
Your morning feed,
So you just
sir,
want to
she said
staple all the
quietly,
ones that are
setting the tray
on a
down and
steady
trying not to
pace.
stare. Petra. He turned to
See,
face
and
her,
it
and she
kinda
saw
comes
more
down.
tattoos
You
across
gotta
his chest,
put
and
that
scars,
back up.
bullet
But
wounds,
make sure
knife
all of the
wounds, evidence of a
little
violent life.
pegs are
Do
in
you
the
know
right
why I
ones.
requested you? She kept
And
her
then the
eyes
next
down.
one says the
No,
second,
sir. Look at me.
the second
Slowly, she raised
peg
her
right
eyes to
here. You
his.
can see them. They got little
The
pegs.
intensity there stole her
It's
breath.
just like so.
I
The second
requested you
one,
because you're the only
goes
honest person
on
in this house, Ji-hoon
this
said quietly.
second here,
Everyone else wants something from
and
me.
it just lines up
Power, money, protection. But you just want to
just
do your
like that.
job and take care of your family. Don't you?
When it's small like this.
Yes,
you can really
sir.
just use your hand
Tell me
instead
about
of using
that.
that tapper
Your family.
because
It
it
wasn't a
makes
request.
everything stable.
So Petra found herself talking,
without
telling
pushing
him
the
about her
sides
mother's
down.
illness, her younger siblings stealing school,
You
her
do the
dreams
same
of
on the other
saving enough
side.
money to go back and start her own language school someday. Ji-hoon listened, really listened, in a way no one had in so long. And when she finished, he
Right
said,
there.
your mother's medical bills. How much? Sir, I couldn't. How much, Petra? She named a figure that would take her years to save. Ji-hoon pulled out his phone, made a call in rapid Korean, and within minutes,
Sure,
it was
it's
done.
on.
Sir,
And I
I
usually
can't
look
accept
around
this.
it to make sure
Consider it a bonus for
that
putting
there
up
is
with
no
Yoon's behavior.
creases in
And-
between there.
He moved closer, close enough that she could see the flecks of gold in his dark
Same
eyes.
thing on the other side.
Consider it a gift from someone who enjoys your company. This is wrong, Petra whispered, but she didn't move away. You're engaged. To a woman I don't love, in an arrangement I never wanted. Tell me, Petra, do you believe in faith? I believe in God.
2 feet
I
started.
believe in right and
And
wrong.
that is
And this?
number
He
one.
reached out, his
Just
fingers
done.
barely grazing the cheek
I'm
where
gonna
Unit
use
had
this
struck her.
marker right here.
The bruise
cross
had
off
faded,
that
but
I've
the
done
memory
that.
remained. This
We
feels wrong
usually
to
do
me.
them
It felt like fire. Like electricity.
and
Like something inevitable and terrifying
Oil.
and wonderful all at once.
so
I should go,
Like-
Petra said, stepping back. This can't happen,
okay.
sir.
So
I'm just a maid.
we're gonna go on
You're you.
to number
And
2
you're engaged.
right here.
And I won't be the other woman.
That's number
I
2.
won't betray another woman like
Now
that,
this
no matter
gray
how
part
terrible she is.
down there,
Something like respect flickered
that
in
is
Ji-hoon's eyes.
what these are.
You have
So
more
the
honor
gray
than
part
most
you
of
don't
the
have
men
to
in my
worry about.
organization.
It is the parts
Then
that
honor
are
my
colored
position, sir.
that you have to worry about. And
Please.
there's 3.
He nodded slowly.
And I'm not gonna pick all these
As
out
you
again
wish.
because I'm not doing
But
all that
Petra,
counting. I'm just gonna
This
do each
conversation isn't
one
over. Whatever is between
And
us, it's not going away just because
go
we
up. And
ignore
I'm
it.
gonna probably do
He was right.
up
Over
until
the following
5
weeks, the tension
and then
between
I'll
them
be
grew
done.
unbearable.
for today
Every morning
because you
when she
want to
brought
take
his
your
tea,
time or you'll
their
get
fingers would brush.
tired out.
Every evening when she turned down his bed, she could feel his eyes on her.
Take your time.
They barely spoke, but the silence was loaded with everything unsaid.
We're gonna go
And
red
you
and
know,
white again.
you think you're
And
special,
before
don't you?
out them
Unit cornered Petra in the linen closet one afternoon,
or
her voice venomous. You think because you're exotic, different, that he'll actually choose you. You're a fantasy, that's all. A brief distraction. I haven't done anything inappropriate with Master Ji-hoon, Petra said firmly, meeting Mina's eyes. Yet. But you want to. I can see it all over your face.
And I'm gonna do
You
one
must
at a
step
time,
closer.
but I'm gonna do both
Let
sides. I'm
me
gonna
tell
do
you
both
what will happen
bottoms.
if you continue
Then the
down this
next
path.
row. Then the next row.
First, I'll
I'm gonna do
destroy you.
both sides.
Then I'll destroy your family. Yes, I know all about them. Your sick mother, your baby siblings. It would be so easy to make them disappear. One phone call. Petra's blood turned to ice. You're evil. I'm in love. And I protect what's mine. Yuna's smile was cruel. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to quit. You're going to tell Master Ji-hoon that you're going back to Nigeria for family reasons. And you're going to disappear from his life. Or everyone you love will suffer. He'll know you threaten me. Will he? I'll be so sympathetic, so understanding. Poor Ji-hoon, abandoned by yet another person he trusted. He'll turn to me for comfort. We'll finally set a wedding date. And you'll be forgotten. Before Petra could respond, the closet door opened. Soo-jin stood there, her phone in her hand, recording. Got all of that, Soo-jin said grimly. Every word. Yuna's face went white with rage. She lunged for the phone, but Soo-jin was faster, dodging out of the closet and running. Yuna chased her, screaming, and Petra followed, her heart pounding. They ran through the mansion corridors, staff members jumping out of the way. Soo-jin burst into Ji-hoon's study without knocking, Yuna and Petra right behind her. Ji-hoon looked up from his desk, where he'd been meeting with his second-in-command, a serious man named Min-ho. What is the meaning of? Master Ji-hoon, you need to see this, Soo-jin gasped, holding out her phone. Yuna tried to grab it, but Min-ho stepped between them, his hand moving to the gun at his hip. Everyone calmed down. Ji-hoon took the phone and played the recording. His expression grew darker with every word. When it finished, the silence in the room was deafening. Get out, he said quietly to Yuna. Ji-hoon, let me explain. Get out. His roar shook the windows. Before I forget that you're a woman and put a bullet between your eyes for threatening an innocent person under my protection. Yuna had never seen him like this. None of them had. She stumbled backward, tears streaming down her face. You're going to regret this. My family. Your family answers to me, not the other way around. Or have you forgotten who actually runs things? Now get out of my sight before I change my mind about letting you leave here breathing. Yuna fled, and Ji-hoon turned to Soo-jin. Send that recording to my private server. You did well. There will be a bonus in your next paycheck. He looked at Petra. You. Stay. Everyone else out. When they were alone, Ji-hoon moved around the desk, his eyes blazing. Did she hurt you? No, sir. Just threats. Threats against your family. Threats to make you leave. He was standing in front of her now, and she could see the rage and something else, fear, in his expression. Were you going to do it? Were you going to leave without telling me? I don't know. My family is now under my protection. I'm moving them here. All of them. Your mother will have the best doctors in Seoul. Your siblings will attend the best schools. They'll live in a secure apartment that Yuna can't touch. Petra's eyes filled with tears. Why are you doing this? You know why. He reached out, cupping her face with both hands. I'm done pretending, Petra. I'm done with arrangements and obligations and doing what's expected. You asked me to honor your position, and I tried. God knows I tried. But I can't anymore. Your engagement is over. I'll handle the fallout with her family. It won't be easy, but I don't care. His thumb brushed away a tear that had escaped down her cheek. Tell me you feel this too. Tell me I'm not alone in this madness. You're not alone, Petra whispered. But I'm scared. I'm so scared. Of me? Of what this means. Of what she'll do. Of losing myself in something too big, too impossible. Nothing is impossible. I'm the most powerful man in Seoul's underworld, and you brought me to my knees with just your smile. If that's not impossible, what is? And then he was kissing her, and she was kissing him back, and the world fell away. It was desperate and tender and inevitable, and when they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, everything had changed. I can't promise you a normal life, Ji-hoon said, resting his forehead against hers. I can't promise you safety or peace. My world is dark, violent. But I can promise you that I will protect you with everything I have. That I will cherish you. That I will. The study door exploded inward with a crash. Men in black tactical gear poured in, guns raised. At their center stood Chairman Park, Yuna's cousin, with a weapon pointed directly at Ji-hoon's head. Step away from him, girl, Park said to Petra. This doesn't concern you. Ji-hoon moved in front of Petra instantly, shielding her with his body. Park. You've made a grave mistake. Have I? I don't think so. See, my dear cousin came to me in tears, told me how you humiliated her, thrown her away for some African whore. The other families are already whispering. You're weak, Juan. Distracted. And weakness in our world is blood in the water. So this is a coup. This is business. Kill you, marry Yuna myself, absorb your territory. It's actually quite elegant. Minho's voice came through the door. Master Ji-hoon, we're pinned down out here. Park smiled. My men have secured the entire estate. Your guards are neutralized. It's just you, me, and the choice. Sign over your operations to me, and I'll let you live. You and your little pet can run away together, start a normal life. Refuse, and I'll kill you both. Petra's mind raced. She spotted it then, the letter opener on Ji-hoon's desk, just within reach. As Park monologued, she slowly moved her hand toward it. You won't kill me, Ji-hoon said calmly. Because the moment you do, the information I have on every dirty deal you've ever made goes to the prosecutors. It's set on a dead man's switch. Park's confidence wavered. You're bluffing. Am I? You really want to take that chance? In that moment of distraction, Petra grabbed the letter opener and threw it with all her strength. It wasn't a perfect throw, but it didn't need to be. It embedded in Park's shoulder, making him cry out and drop his gun. Ji-hoon moved like lightning, disarming the nearest man and using him as a shield as gunfire erupted. He grabbed the fallen weapon and returned fire with deadly precision, taking down 2 more men. The study became a war zone. Petra, the panic button under my desk. Press it now. She dove for the desk as bullets whizzed overhead, her fingers finding the hidden button. Alarms blared throughout the mansion. Within seconds, she heard the thunder of footsteps, Ji-hoon's real security, the elite guards who had been off-site. The fight was brutal and brief. Park's men were good, but Ji-hoon's were better. When the smoke cleared, Park was on his knees, blood streaming from his shoulder wound, surrounded by bodies. Ji-hoon stood over him, gun pointed at his head. You threatened what's mine. You know the penalty for that. Wait. Park gasped. Yuna, she set this up. She planned everything. She promised me your territory if I killed you. I know. Ji-hoon's smile was cold. Did you really think I didn't have surveillance throughout my own home? I've been recording everything since her little threat in the linen closet. I have her on tape planning this coup with you. Conspiracy to commit murder. Attempted murder. The Council of Families will eat her alive. He looked at Minho. Kick him to the basement. Let him contemplate his mistakes until I decide what to do with him. As they dragged Park away, Ji-hoon finally lowered his gun and turned to Petra. She was pale, shaking, pressed against his desk. He holstered his weapon and moved to her, pulling her into his arms. It's over. You're safe. I've never seen anyone die before. Her voice was small, traumatized. I know. I'm sorry you had to see that. Sorry you had to be part of this world. He held her tighter. If you want to leave, I'll understand. I'll still protect your family, still help you. But I would never force you to stay in this darkness. Petra pulled back to look at him. This man, this dangerous, powerful man who had just killed without hesitation, was holding her like she was made of glass. Who had protected her with his own body. Who was offering her freedom even though it clearly hurt him. I'm not leaving, she said firmly. But we're doing this my way. No more killing unless there's absolutely no choice. No more violence for violence's sake. If I'm going to be part of your life, we're going to start changing things. Making your organization less about destruction and more about protection. Can you do that? Ji-hoon stared at her in amazement. She had just survived a gunfight and was now lecturing him on morality. It should have annoyed him. Instead, he found himself falling even harder. I can try. For you, I can try. Good. Now what about Yuna? As if summoned by her name, Yuna appeared in the doorway. Her hair was wild, her makeup smeared, and she held a gun in trembling hands. You ruined everything, she screamed at Petra. He was mine. My future. And you took it all. Yuna, put the gun down, Ji-hoon said calmly, stepping in front of Petra again. No. I've given you everything. I've waited, I've been patient, I've played my fiancé, and for what? To be replaced by some nobody from nowhere? She's nothing. She's everything, Ji-hoon said quietly. And you know what's sad, Yuna? You could have been too. If you'd shown any of the strength, compassion, and courage that she has. But all you ever cared about was power and status. You never loved me. You loved what I represented. That's not true. Tears streamed down Yuna's face. I love you.
Because
I've
this
always loved you.
is.
You love the idea of me. There's a difference. He took a step toward her. It's over, Yuna.
It's been
The engagement is off.
almost
And the
enough.
family will be contacted.
Yeah.
And because I'm
think
not
it's been
keeping
almost
you without
enough.
mercy, I'm giving you a choice. Leave Korea tonight, start over somewhere else, and live. Or face the council for your conspiracy.
Do this stuff. Oh, we're using black
You know
this
what they'll
time.
do to you.
We're using
You're really choosing her. Amei, you're throwing away our
So I'm
family's
gonna do this
alliance
back.
for someone so
Let's
little.
move these back up here. Out
She's
the way
not
for a
beneath
second.
anyone, Ji-hoon said, his voice
Goes
calm.
over there. So
She's worth
still
10
see
of
these
you.
are the ones that I already did.
100.
We're gonna
Now
do.
make your choice.
Oh, almost.
Yuna's hand shook
Red
on
is
the
gonna be
gun.
done pretty quickly.
For a moment, Petra
It's
thought
only
she
red
might
in that?
actually shoot. But then Yuna's face
Only red
crumpled,
is at the
and she
bottom.
dropped the weapon, sobbing.
Look at the
I'll go.
picture.
But you'll regret this, Ji-hoon.
Yep, the
You'll
only red
never
is at the
survive
bottom.
your woman. It
It's
will
nowhere
destroy
else on
her,
the top,
and
so
then you'll be alone.
we're gonna use all
and
the
you'll
red
remember
pretty
that
much.
I warned you.
in
She
these first
fled,
three,
and this time, she didn't come back.
and then there'll be the
We're
first
approaching
three
the end of this
session
incredible journey. Beautiful
is when all the
souls.
red
But
is
before we
done,
get to the
and we won't
conclusion,
need the
if you've
red.
been glued
So
to
I
your
can
screen
take
this
this
whole
off of here,
time,
then I can put
show
my
some
kink in
love by
there.
hitting that like button. Comment below and tell me
So,
what you'd do
let's
in
see.
Petra's position. Would you stay or would you go? And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We have so many more emotional stories coming your way. Now, let's see how this love story ends. 3 months later, the Kwon estate looked different. The cold, austere mansion had been transformed with warmer colors, plants in the corridors, and most notable, laughter. Real, genuine laughter. Petra's mother and siblings had arrived from Nigeria 2 months ago. Mrs. Okonkwo was responding well to treatment, her cancer in remission thanks to Seoul's advanced medical care. The younger siblings were thriving in their new schools, and they'd even started learning Korean. But the biggest changes were in Ji-hoon himself. Under Petra's influence, he had begun restructuring his organization. The protection rackets became actual protection services. The loan operations became legitimate financial assistance for small businesses. It wasn't a complete transformation, he was still a force to be feared, but he was trying. The Council of Families had not been pleased about the broken engagement, but when Ji-hoon presented evidence of the Park's coup attempt, they had no choice but to sanction that family instead. Chairman Park had disappeared, and rumors said he was working off his debts in one of the southern ports. Yuna had fled to Paris, according to intelligence reports, where she was burning through what remained of her family's money. Petra stood in the garden, watching the sunset paint Seoul's skyline in shades of gold and
This
pink.
is what it was before.
She wore a simple white dress, her natural hair free and wild around her shoulders. She heard footsteps behind her and smiled. "You're thinking too hard," Ji-hoon said, wrapping his arms around her waist from behind. I can see the worry from here. Just wondering if this is all real. If I'll wake up back in Lagos, and this will all have been a dream. If this is a dream, we're both having it. He turned her to face him, and she saw it there in his eyes, the love that still amazed her every single day. This powerful, dangerous man looked at her like she hung the moon. The council wants to meet you formally next week, he said. As my official partner. Not fiancé. I was getting to that. Ji-hoon lowered himself to one knee, and Petra's heart stopped. He pulled out a small box, opening it to reveal a stunning ring, a deep red ruby surrounded by diamonds. Petra Okonkwo, you terrify me. You've made me question everything I thought I knew about
No,
power,
I didn't
strength,
do.
and
I
what
haven't
matters in life.
Yeah,
You've turned my world upside down in the best possible way.
you did.
You've made me want to be better.
I don't need any of those.
I'm still
I
not a
need
good man,
these
but
right
with you,
here.
I'm trying to be. Will you marry me? Will you stay in this crazy, dangerous, beautiful life we're building together? Petra looked down at him. This man who had defended her, protected her family, changed his entire organization for her. This man who was still learning how to love but was trying so hard every single day. Yes, she whispered.
I'm gonna do it.
Yes, 1,000 times yes. He slipped the ring on her finger and stood, kissing her with a passion that still made her knees weak. When they broke apart, both laughing and crying, the garden lights flickered on, and Petra saw that they were alone.
Black, and they were always.
Mrs. Cho stood there with the rest of the household staff, all of them applauding. Soo-jin was crying happy tears. Min-ho gave a rare smile. And Petra's mother stood with her siblings, beaming with joy. You knew, Petra accused Ji-hoon, laughing. I wanted everyone who matters to witness this moment. To see that the Korean mafia boss has been brought to his knees by love. By God's grace, Petra corrected gently. I still believe that's what brought us together. Some divine plan that neither of us could have predicted. Then I guess I should start believing too, Ji-hoon said softly. Because only God could have sent me someone brave enough to throw a letter opener at an armed man to protect me. I had terrible aim. You were perfect. That night, they celebrated with a feast that brought together Petra's Nigerian family and Ji-hoon's Korean household in a beautiful fusion of cultures. There was jollof rice and kimchi on the same table, Korean barbecue and pepper soup, soju and palm wine. It was chaotic and loud and absolutely perfect. Later, as Petra and Ji-hoon stood on the balcony of their bedroom, looking out over the city, she thought about the journey that had brought them here. From that first stumble with the breakfast tray to a gunfight to this moment of perfect peace. What are you thinking now? Ji-hoon asked, reading her expression. That everyone feared the Korean mafia boss's fiancé, Petra said slowly. Until the new black maid changed everything. You didn't just change everything. You became everything. He pulled her closer, his voice dropping to that deep rumble that still sent shivers through her. You know what the men call you now? The Queen of Soul. They respect you more than they've ever respected you. Because they see that you
Stack
listen to
them
you.
on.
That your word carries weight. I'm still just me.
Gonna go
You're
this
so
way.
much more than that. You're
So
my
let's
conscience,
see.
my heart, my future.
Oh, it lines
He
up.
paused, then added with a slight smile, though I have to admit, I did this when you were just the
Let's
beautiful
just
maid I
make
couldn't
sure
stop
it
thinking
goes.
about. Oh really? Petra raised an eyebrow. I could put the uniform back on sometime if you miss it that much. The heat that flared in Ji-hoon's eyes made her laugh. Dangerous woman. You know exactly what you do to me. I'm learning. She kissed him softly. But Ji-hoon, I need you to promise me something. Anything. That will keep changing things. Keep making your organization better. Keep choosing mercy when we can. I know you'll always be who you are.
Looking to make
I'm
sure
not
there's
asking
none
you to
that's
become
hooked
someone else. But promise me you'll always try to choose the light over the darkness. I promise. With you by my side, how could I choose anything else?
Still there.
He was quiet for a moment, then said, you know, my father built this empire on fear and blood. I inherited it and did the same because I didn't know any other way. But you're showing me that real power comes from loyalty earned, not fear imposed. From protecting people instead of exploiting them. Your father would be proud of the man you're becoming. I hope so. But honestly, the only person I want to make proud is you. They stood together as the city lights twinkled below, two people from completely different worlds who had found something impossible and made it real. There would be challenges ahead. The council wouldn't always approve of Ji-hoon's reforms, and there would be those who would see Petra as a weakness to exploit. But they would face it all together. Tell me about our wedding, Petra said suddenly. What do you want it to be like? Ji-hoon considered. Something that honors both our cultures. Nigerian and Korean tradition. And we want it to be a statement that the old ways are changing, that love matters more than arrangements, that power without heart is worthless. You're getting poetic in your old age. I'm 32. Ancient, she teased, then grew serious. Ji-hoon, do you ever regret it? Choosing me over the easy path. He turned her to face him fully, his hands framing her face. Listen to me, Petra. You are not the difficult path. You're the only path. Everything before you was just existing. This is living. And I will choose you every single day for the rest of my life, no matter what comes. As if the universe wanted to test that promise, Minho appeared on the balcony, his expression apologetic. Master Ji-hoon, we have a situation. The Choi family is making moves on the Eastern Territory. Ji-hoon sighed but didn't let go of Petra. Can it wait until morning? I suppose it could, but then it waits. Tonight, I'm exactly where I need to be. He looked at Petra. See, already choosing them. Minho actually smiled.
Session.
Yes, sir.
First two.
I'll handle the initial response and brief you in the morning. He bowed to Petra. Congratulations again, future Mrs. Kwan. Or should I say, Queen of Seoul.
Bottom foot.
After he left, Petra shook her head in wonder. I'm never going to get used to that.
Both of them.
You will. Because you were born for this, Petra. Not because of me, but because of who you are. Strong, compassionate, fierce when you need to be, gentle when you can be. You're going to help me reshape this entire organization into something better. We're going to reshape it. Together. Together, he agreed. They went back inside, where the celebration was still going strong. Petra's younger brother was teaching Suji the Nigerian dance while Mrs. Okonkwo explained the intricacies of jollof rice preparation to a fascinated Mrs. Cho. It was chaotic and beautiful and everything Petra had never dared to dream of. Suji caught sight of them and rushed over, pulling Petra into a hug. I'm so happy for you. I knew from that first day when you nearly spilled coffee on me that something special was happening. You did not. Okay, maybe not that first day. But definitely after the linen closet incident when I reported you. I saw the way he looked when she threatened you. I'd never seen Master Ji-hoon scared before. She wasn't scared, Petra protested.
My tap.
He's terrified, Ji-hoon said quietly. The thought of
Alright,
losing you,
so-
of anything happening to you because of me, it's still my greatest fear. Before Petra could respond, her mother approached, tears in her eyes.
So it just
My
feels
daughter,
weird.
may I speak with you?
now
They stepped aside,
have
and
to
Mrs.
open it up
Okonkwo took Petra's
because
hands.
what to do number
When you
3
left
and that's
Lagos,
right in
I
the
was
middle
so
of my
worried.
crease.
Sending my baby
This
girl
is
to a
better if it
foreign
was in a
country
book.
to work as a maid. I thought it was the end of your dreams. Mama, let me finish. Now I see that it was the beginning. God had a plan all along. He brought you here not just to save our family, but to save that man's soul. I see how he looks at you.
So I'm gonna
How
do
he's
this
changed.
one, Shaw.
You brought light
I'm
into
using my
darkness,
last
my daughter.
two.
Your father would be so
Reds.
proud. Petra hugged her mother, crying now.
But I'm gonna
I miss him
need.
so much.
Not gonna need any more
He's
red.
watching over you. I know it. And he's rejoicing.
Yeah, there's no more red.
Mrs. Okonkwo pulled back, smiling through her
No more.
tears.
That's the last
Now,
two.
we need to start
So we're
planning
gonna
this
move
wedding.
those out of the way.
A proper Nigerian
We're
Korean
going to
fusion wedding.
change this. This is
We'll need
this.
Mama, we just got engaged an hour ago, which
This
means
over
we're
here.
already behind schedule. Ji-hoon watched them with a soft expression, and Minho sidled up to him with 2 glasses of whiskey. Never thought I'd see the
Back
day.
in.
The great Kwon Ji-hoon, domesticated. Not domesticated,
Say,
elevated. Ji-hoon took a glass. You should try it sometime.
Peter.
Maybe in a year.
Put in
If I
here.
can find a woman half as brave as yours. It takes courage to love a man like you. It
There's
takes courage to love at all, I think.
gonna need pink and blue
Real
this time.
Not the arrangement kind. Not the transactional kind.
And we're gonna
The
put
kind that asks for nothing and gives everything.
out of the way. Out of the way.
I sound ridiculous, don't I?
And I'm gonna do this
You
bottom
sound
two,
happy,
these bottom
sir.
two real quick.
It's strange. But good. The party continued late into the night, and when everyone finally left, Petra and Ji-hoon found themselves alone again. The mansion was quiet, peaceful in a way it had never been during Yuna's time.
There it
tired.
goes.
Ji-hoon asked, pulling Petra close. Exhausted. Happy. Overwhelmed. All of it. She looked up at him. Thank you. For what? For choosing me. For changing for me. For loving me the way you do. Petra, you have it backwards. Thank you for seeing something in me worth loving. For not running away when you saw the darkness. For believing I could be better. He kissed her forehead, her nose, her lips. I love you. In Korean, it's serenity. In your language, it's Ahuru Petra finished in Igbo, smiling. I love you too. In every language, in every way. They stood together in the quiet mansion, 2 souls who had found each other against all odds. The Korean mafia boss and the Nigerian maid who had changed everything. It wasn't a fairy tale. Their life would always have edges of danger, moments of darkness. But it was real, and it was theirs, and it was built on something stronger than any empire. It was built on love. Beautiful souls, we've reached the end of this incredible journey. If this story touched your heart, if it made you believe in love that breaks barriers and changes lives, do me a favor. Hit that like button, drop a comment telling me your favorite moment from this story, and please subscribe to the channel because we have so many more beautiful, emotional, dramatic stories coming your way.
Goes, okay.
Share this with someone who loves a good romance, and remember, love knows no boundaries, no borders, no limits. Thank you for spending this time with me. Until next time, keep believing in love. Merry Christmas, and God bless you
I'll
all.
do one side at a time. This one. This is two. This one.
The knife glinted under the crystal chandelier for exactly half a second before it plunged toward the old woman's chest. Jasmine Akaji didn't think. Thinking would have meant staying frozen behind the water pitcher she'd been holding. Thinking would have meant watching a 72-year-old woman die 3 feet in front of her. So Jasmine didn't think. She moved. Her body collided with expensive silk and old bones as she threw herself between the blade and Mrs. Park's son. The knife that was meant to pierce a heart instead tore through Jasmine's forearm, slicing upward across her shoulder in a line of white-hot agony that made her vision explode into stars. She heard screaming. Maybe it was hers. Maybe it was the chaos erupting around her as bodyguards drew weapons and tables crashed to the floor. Jasmine hit the ground hard, her head bouncing off the polished wood. Blood bloomed across her white servant uniform, spreading like spilled wine. Above her, the elderly Korean woman she'd just saved stared down with eyes as glass and clubbed with obsidian, shock written across her carefully composed face for the first time in decades. The pain was everything. It swallowed Jasmine whole, driving her down into a place where the sound became muffled in the ornate private dining room of Moonlight Garden Restaurant blurred into abstract shapes. She tried to speak, to apologize for the mess she was making on their expensive floor, but her tongue felt sick and useless in her mouth. Then there were hands on her face. Small, wrinkled hands that smelled of expensive perfume and something herbal. Mrs. Park had dropped to her knees beside Jasmine, cradling her head with a tenderness that seemed impossible from a woman who'd been negotiating with killers 30 seconds ago. Jasmine heard shouting in Korean, footsteps thundering, more gunshots that made her flinch even through the shock. And then a voice cut through everything else, sharp and commanding and absolutely terrifying. Yama, the man who burst through the dining room, doors moved like violence given human form. He was tall for a Korean man, maybe 6 feet, with shoulders that strained against his black suit and eyes that swept the room with the cold efficiency of someone trained to assess threats in milliseconds. His gun was already drawn, already tracking toward the men his mother's bodyguard had pinned against the wall. But then he saw his mother on the floor, saw the blood, saw Jasmine. Jean-Woo Park crossed the distance in 3 strides and dropped to his knees beside them, his weapon never wavering from the attackers. Up close, Jasmine could see the sharp angles of his face, the scar that cut through his left eyebrow. The way his jaw clenched so tight, she could see the muscle jumping beneath his skin. Who did this? His voice was quiet, too quiet, the kind of quiet that preceded hurricanes. Mrs. Park spoke rapidly in Korean, one hand still cradling Jasmine's head, while the other pressed against the wound on her shoulder. The old woman's hands were covered in blood now. Jasmine's blood. The absurdity of it made her want to laugh, but what came out was a choked sob. Jean-Woo's eyes finally landed on Jasmine's face. For a moment, something flickered in those dark eyes. Surprise, maybe, or recognition of something he hadn't expected to find on his mother's dining room floor. A black woman bleeding out in a server's uniform. Who are you? He asked in English, his accent thick but his words clear. Jasmine tried to answer, tried to explain that she was nobody, just a waitress who needed this job, who needed the tips from serving in the private rooms where rich people came to have meetings they didn't want the world to know about. But her mouth wouldn't cooperate. The words came out slurred and wrong. I'm sorry. The mess. I'll clean it. Please don't fire me. If you've ever made a split-second decision that changed everything, drop a comment below.
Sure.
What would you do if you had to choose between your safety and a stranger's life? And if you're already hooked on Jasmine's story, smash that like button and subscribe, because what happens next is absolutely insane. Jean-Woo said something sharp in Korean to his men. 2 of them
I didn't even
immediately
notice.
to lift Jasmine, decision that changed everything with an abrupt gesture. Instead, what would you do if you had to choose between your safety and a stranger for himself? And if you're already hooked on Jasmine's story, smash that like careful subscribe, because what happens next, the world acted as he lifted her. Jasmine's head sharp in Korean Jasmine, and she could feel this
I didn't even
immediately
notice.
expensive Jasmine's decision that changed everything with an abrupt gesture. Like in the dark, do and had to choose between your safety and a stranger for himself. And if you're already hooked on Jasmine's story, smash that like careful subscribe, because what happens next, the world acted as he lifted her. Jasmine had solved for consciousness slipped away. This party's face hovering above Jasmine's decision that changed everything in an abrupt gesture. Like in the dark, do and had to choose between your safety and a stranger for myself. Jasmine's like Jasmine's subscribe, because what happens next, the world acted as he lifted her. Jasmine had solved for consciousness slipped away. This party's face hovering above Jasmine's decision that changed everything in an abrupt gesture. Like in the dark, do and had to choose between your safety and a stranger for myself. Jasmine.